Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 PC review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Rhythm Destruction, which if you've never played it before, it is an absolutely genius idea. It is a hybrid of rhythm games like Dance Dance Revolution, Rock Band, you know, that sort of thing, and shoot 'em ups like Ikaruga or Gate of Thunder, just things like that. It's a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up, and the whole point is you play to the tune. And it may sound weird, but once you see it in action, you'll understand it. At the start, you can go on to play a game, you can go on to the challenges, which it's one of them. There's loads of different challenge modes and that to go on to, and there's absolutely tons of medals and things to unlock, which are basically like an achievement system and that. And there's some really, probably the best way to say it is they're a doozy. It's just the sort of thing that really is hard to actually get, and it means that the game's got a lot of legs to it, considering it's such a cheap game. Which I will touch on that a little bit later. You've then got controls where you can play with keys or you can play with a controller, and the action buttons are actually colour coordinated for a 360 pad, which is great because it makes it a little bit easier. One weird thing though, it seems on one of the sections, while you can use the buttons on everything, the analog works to move the ship, but on one of the sections you pretty much have to use the buttons because you're on a on-rail section and you have to go left, right or up, and up never responds on the analog, so you just have to use the buttons for that. But again, as they're also colour coordinated, the buttons are actually, I find, easier than using the analog. You've then got your usual stuff for a PC, audio, video and other, and just things like you can change around. The audio that's actually important though is the offset, because if you've ever played anything like a Rock Band game, you'll know that on HD TVs and setups, if you're displaying to a screen rather than using the laptop or something, or the PC monitor, or you know, anything like that, it can have a bit of problems with audio sync, you know, and things can feel out of sync, and therefore it can feel like the game's broken and it can ruin it. And honestly, there were times when I got Rock Band at the start, or a Guitar Hero game, and I thought, this is just awful, why are people raving about this? And someone taught me how to tweak it, and all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, I can see why people love this. And this is the same situation. I've been lucky enough that I don't have to do anything and it runs fine, but some people might have to just sync that up a little bit and look into audio offset online. Anyway, there are 10 stages, which may not seem like a lot, but you can then get another 3 with DLC, and the DLC cost me 79 pence, and the game, it costs £4 normally, but even though it's only just came out, it's already in the Steam sale, so you can get the whole thing for under like £3, and considering this is an indie dev who's just released the game, and it's their first game, if memory serves, then to immediately put themselves into the Steam sale is just amazing, and I wish them nothing but luck, and I hope they've been able to get a load of sales that's helped them prop up the game and to do future DLC packs and to do future games, because they also then said that there's going to be another 2 stages coming out completely free. So by, I don't know the time frames, I'm not going to say by the middle of next week, by the middle of next month, but sometime soon there's going to be 15 stages for less than a £5, you know. You can't complain at that, especially because, as I say, of all the medals, which are kind of like an achievement system, and all the challenges and things. And I've just realised the mouse cursor, even though I'm using the pad, is on the middle of the screen, so I've just moved it there so it's out of the way. But here's the gameplay dynamic, and I've already messed up the first one. Basically, you've got down, left, right and up. And as I say, the colour coordinated to an Xbox pad, so you know when to do it, and you've just basically, as the ring gets closer, you've got to time it just right to shoot, and the better you time it, the better your score you get, and that's how the scoring system works, and how the multipliers and things like that. The whole point is, obviously, to shoot 'em up, you're supposed to go for the highest score, and the same again with a rhythm game, you're supposed to go for the highest score, and there's things you can collect, like what I've just got there, to increase your score, and there's also a very risk-reward scenario, because if you actually do what I just managed to do there, and I'm over the moon that I set it up perfectly, if you are right next to an enemy when you blow it up, especially if you do it with a perfect rating, then you actually get a massive bonus for being closer to them, and it explains that in the tutorial as well. There's then a section of the game where, as I say, it's like on rails, and I will have to show that off, because I'm probably just going to put the hardest level on just to kind of show you that it's not always like this, because I mean, this is very slow, peaceful and serene, and you might be thinking, this is, you know, this is really boring to play, but it's like, as I say, a Rock Band style game. you've got the mild levels, or for example the mild songs, and then you've got the very, very insane songs where the gameplay just changes, and I will absolutely fail on that level. I'm not saying that I'm going to be good at all, because at the end of the day it's like a rhythm game and like a shoot 'em up. You don't go in playing it absolutely awesomely, at least I certainly don't. I have to play it for a long time to get good enough to actually be able to do really well on the thing. I mean, I couldn't play expert for years, and I didn't think I'd ever actually be able to play expert on a Rock Band game. And then with persistence, and because I loved the game, then I got to the point where I can play it quite a lot, still not all of them or anything, but quite a lot of songs. And I think this is going to be the same learning curve for us, as well as the usual shoot 'em up things with shooting enemies and that. You might have noticed that you don't have a gun for the most part, and I've only just got the gun now, and it's basically for while I'm fighting this boss, which obviously there are bosses on it. And one of the cool things that they actually told me about was you can actually beat a level without dying and without really killing anything or doing anything. And there are challenges based around that, because obviously that's going to be incredibly hard to accomplish, especially on certain levels. So effectively you can be the worst at the game possible and still do really well and do something really good. And because of that learning curve and difficulty spike, it's got a lot to offer than more than just a regular shoot 'em up or more than just a regular rhythm game. Obviously the most important thing is how it sounds, and everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to like different bands, everyone's going to like different music and that. But for me personally, the songs I think really work well and fit well. So I'm going to go on to that level now that's rock hard, that I will fail at miserably. I'm then going to put it on so you can see the Unreal section, and I'm going to pump the volume up so you can hear it, and hopefully you like it as much as me. Because personally this is probably my favourite song on the game actually. It's just a shame I'm so bad at it at the moment. But I will get better. I hope. So that was a bit of the music, and this is the obviously insane Unreal's hard part, where basically you just go left, right and up. And the only reason I noticed it is because in the tutorial it makes you do it until you've done it essentially, and every time I'd push up on the analog it wouldn't work, but whenever I pushed it on the buttons it did. But as I see it, it kinda actually, for me at least, feels a lot easier to do it. And yeah, the majority of them were atrocious, but that's because, again, this is the hardest level. It doesn't have a 5-star difficulty rating, it has a 5-skull difficulty rating, okay? Anything you know that's got skulls is going to be hard. And the other thing I suppose I should mention, you might notice sections like that, where basically enemies come up with bars behind them, or to the sides of them I suppose, and you have to press and hold the button, or sometimes press and hold 2 buttons, and it charges the laser attack up and that kills them. And there's then obviously, as you might notice, somewhere you have to push 2 buttons together, and then sections like this where there's chains, and sometimes the chains interact with each other, so you are manically pressing buttons. And it's why for me at the moment I'm just terrible at it, and I will get better, my timing will get better. I'd love to blame my eyesight on this, and maybe there's a little bit of that there, but at the moment I think it's just mainly that I am very bad at these levels and need to get better. The only thing I can really mention that I don't think I have is as well as the audio offset where you just like, you know, change it a few milliseconds here, there and everywhere, they have actually said they're going to come up with a new system that's going to hopefully work better. And I don't know if it's just going to be an auto or something like that, or if it's going to be kind of like where you've got to play along to the beat or something and then it tells you what it thinks it is. I don't know what it's going to be, but they said they're hoping it's going to help people out who might be struggling with setting it up. But it's one of those, as long as you've got a bit of persistence, you should be able to do it in no time at all. As I said, the only experience I had with doing it on certain games, it took us about half a day, but that's because I was actually doing it for 3 or 4 games at the same time, and we wanted to make sure all of them played right, because we stupidly bought more than one music game at the same time, just simply because we thought, oh, well, we like that song, we like that song. So it shouldn't take you long at all to sort it out. So I think that's it for now. Hopefully, as I say, there'll be more DLC coming out in the future. There should at least be those 2 stages, because they said they will be releasing the 2-stage pack for free. And I'd love to just see it, and I'd especially like to see more games from them. And I think there's even more modes they could probably come out with, you know. And it's just one of those, I wish them all the luck, because this is a fantastic game. And it melds 2 of my favourite genres to the point that I'm thinking, why the hell have I never seen this been done before? So I really do think they're onto something here. And the only thing I suppose I haven't mentioned is that graphically the game looks really nice. I've got it running at the max settings now. Yeah, it's not going to win any awards compared to, you know, things like Watch Dogs and that and Skyrim, but it's a shoot 'em up. It's supposed to look pretty and play well, and that's exactly what it does. So if you like shoot 'em ups, if you like rhythm games, if you like shoot 'em ups and rhythm games, then this is definitely something to look into, especially because, as I say, you can get it and the DLC pack for under a £5 at the moment, which you're not exactly breaking the bank, and I'd like to think that you'll love it as much as I do. And to be fair, that's not the end. I seem to like doing this. I get so caught up talking about the things I love that I forget to do a couple of the little things, and it may not be important to some, but it is to me, and it's why I always do these little additions. As well as, obviously, the normal mode, you can play the levels casually, and basically you get infinite lives, and it's like a great way to practice them. The challenge modes, the reason there's as many is because you can actually create them, and you can also then search for which ones you want. So, like, you can choose point challenges or percent challenges, you can choose a search radius, you can choose to receive them from friends or from everyone or not at all, because you mightn't be into that sort of thing, you mightn't like them, but again, it's nice to have them because there's a lot of content there. The medals, I said about how they're kind of like an achievement system, but that's not to say that there then isn't an achievement system. There's 45 achievements at the moment. I don't know if you get some of the DLC, because I got it all as one, you know. As soon as I got the game, I then went for the DLC. So I don't know if more come with that, and I don't know if there's more coming. I'd imagine there will, because there's more levels. But either way, you've got 45 to go with at the moment. And you've also got a full trading card system as well in the game, because I've already got trading cards for it. So again, such a little title, such a little dev, it's amazing the amount of detail and depth that the game actually has and that they've put into it. So I really, as I've kept saying, love what they've done with it, and I really hope they succeed, because I honestly think indies are pretty much the key to the salvation of gaming, because when you've got certain big name devs and publishers out there who are trying to screw gamers left, right and centre for every penny, and trying to just like make a cheap and nashy game, like certain shooters that have came out maybe last year, instead you've got things like this where it's just like it's been designed for the gamer, you know, and everything about it is just trying to say, listen, we hope you like it and we want you to like it, let us know and we'll keep doing, you know. So again, I am very, very impressed with the whole package, really. So there we go then, that's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel, because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.